Hey guys, welcome back to another Cultured Boys discussion. I'm Pepe, and as always, I'm joined by Nathan. And today we are just chatting.
Hey.
Yeah, we just shooting the stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, see,
You had me
I, I,
worried there. I thought you were gonna do it
I,
again.
s- I censored myself this time. No, we're just gonna be chatting because it's just a little catch up. Like me and Nathan, we saw each other like just before New Year's, but
Yes.
like since then, like stuff like gone on. We never know. Everything's going on. How are you, Nathan? You good?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. How you been?
Yeah, not too bad. This what I've been up to recently is you sent me something the other day for
Yeah.
the Steam Deck because bit like a little bit of an update here. Nathan also has a Steam Deck now.
Yep. Yep.
we did a
Uh-huh.
whole we did a whole episode like a few months ago where it was a big deal that I got a Steam. I mean, if say a few months ago, that's probably a half a year at this point, even longer.
I think so,
Um,
yeah.
and it was basically saying that I've got a Steam Deck. I'm now using Steam. I basically put a whole load of emulators on it and stuff. But now Nathan is also part of the Steam Deck family.
Yes, yes, I am proud owner of Steam Deck. And
How are you finding it, mate?
it's great. I love having it. Um it's funny because the original plan, I'm sure, like with most people, is
Mhm.
to play my actual like Steam games and go through my library and all of
Yeah.
those games I bought over the years. I'm like, yeah, I'm finally gonna get through those, and then it's like, but some nostalgia. How about that nostalgia though?
Yeah, yeah, what I mean? It's basically like having all those like for me, it's the GameCube and PS2 games which I was really invested into because it was for a while before we got Steam Decks. Emulation of Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, like Nintendo 64, all of those are quite achievable on
Hmm.
like your phone or something like that. So for me, like those games, I'm like, oh, it's cool to have them, but I'm like, they weren't really something I'd be invested in too much,
Yeah, yeah.
unless there's like a randomizer or something like that. But the for me, the GameCube and PS2 games were the factors where I was like, oh, I can play these handheld, and that was the big thing for me. I was like, finally get to play these again.
I have been dabbling in a bit of almost everything.
hmm
I've basically have been like, cool. What are the things I remember really wanting but never getting?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then it's like, can I find it? And if I can, then it's like, sweet. Now I'm just sitting and I'm like, oh, cool. It's interesting sort of experience some games like for the first time, like been playing some Super Mystery Dungeon, and that was like the only one I've ever missed. I've played every other entry in the franchise
Is that
of the
the
Mystery Dungeon.
3DS one?
Yeah.
How does it run on there? Is it running right? Is it like
Yeah, it runs fine.
I
It runs
think
great.
there's certain games I find that like with 3DS specifically, like they run fine for the most part. But there's a little bit of lag every now and then. I think that's what I find when I've had a
I
like
haven't
because
noticed it personally. Get more lag in DS games, weirdly.
weird. Okay, that's an
Yeah.
interesting one. Um, I've had lag in like bear in mind I haven't played a lot of 3DS games on there, but the ones I have, Alpha Sapphire was one of
Mhm.
them. I got a bit of lag on that. And Fire Emblem Awakening was fine for the most part. I think it's when it went into cutscenes that it was laggy a bit.
Interesting.
Other than that, like the gameplay was absolutely fine. But yeah, that's the two that I found because those arguably like apart from Smash Bros, those are the other two games that I played the most on my 3DS. Arguably Pokemon X as well, but that was a bit, like out of the few games I have, I think Alpha Sapphire on the 3DS was
Huh.
my favorite
That's
Pokemon game.
interesting. Yeah, no, because on Super Mystery Dungeon, I haven't literally no lag.
Mhm.
It's run fine, but like on DS games, like Pokemon Conquest has crashed on me a couple of times.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, and there's something else I was playing on DS that was also like didn't run amazingly, which was weird because I'm like, this has been squared away for a long time. This is shouldn't be a problem. I'm
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I don't
this.
think I've ever had a problem with DS games. Like I played like a lot of Jump Ultimate Stars because that's the one thing because the Jump Ultimate Stars on the DS, they've made English patches for it in emulators.
Oh, okay.
So, so like apart from the cutscenes that they have in Jump Ultimate Stars, like the rest of it is all pretty much translated. um, it's cool to see the manga panels translated, but I'm like, ugh.
I
But,
I just find it
it runs
funny
all
that,
that
like,
runs fine. Yeah.
some things struggle and, like, Steam itself will tell you, like, "Oh, yeah, the Steam Deck can run things like Cyberpunk 2077," and you're like, "So you can run Cyberpunk, but Pokemon Conquest is gonna crash." Or, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, one of these what? One of these things doesn't make sense here, man."
You know, I really enjoyed that. Like, I haven't had any problems either with Wii games. That's one thing that I
I
find
haven't
quite
tried
funny.
one yet. I have, Capcom versus Tatsunoko. That's it.
Oh, right, okay, yeah,
That's the only
that's a
one
good
I've
one.
got at the moment because I was like, "Oh, I
Ooh,
remember that. That was fun." My cousin had that on their Wii. Also because I just wanna play as the giant lighter.
yeah. Oh, yeah, the fucking good massive golden boy or whatever the fuck
Yeah, I just wanna play as
it
that
is.
character again just because it
Yeah.
was funny.
Nah, I played Brawl on there with no problems.
Yeah, of course you play more Smash Bros.
Yeah, that's the main thing. As I said, like for me, it's the nostalgia, and like I think as soon as I got, it, I was like, let me see if I can run Melee fine. Melee works great, obviously. Melee's Melee, like that on the Steam Deck, it's fine. PS2 games mostly run fine. Outrun was the first thing I tried for PS2
Yeah, makes
because
sense.
you know, yeah, any long time listeners know that me and Nath are massive Outrun fans.
Oh, yeah, like, the Ultimate Ninja games also had no issues. Why is the DS running so shitty? What? That makes no
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, that is an interesting one. I personally haven't run into any issues. It's weird because I think we've got the opposite thing. You haven't had any issues with 3DS, but I've had no issues
Yeah,
with DS.
but, like,
So
I would understand having some issues with 3DS, you know, it's slightly more modern
yeah.
hardware, but
Yeah.
it's the DS. I also don't have any issues with Game Boy Advance or anything older.
No, Game Boy Advance is absolutely fine. Nintendo 64 is
Yeah,
fine.
and,
Like all
like,
those sort of ones
the
are
only other thing that I had an issue with was, Xbox 360, and that was
I
just
haven't tried the Xbox 360.
I
That's
was telling
something.
Pepe because I wanted to play Fist of the North Star: Ken's Rage 2 again,
Yeah.
and, like, it runs alright, but I ran into an issue where, like, if you spin the camera too much, which in a game like that where you need to turn the camera, is a big issue, all of a sudden it just seems like all of the polygons just go out of whack, and
It's so
it
weird.
turns into a gray mass, but you can tell it's because of something to do with the renderer because you can make out polygons, like, intersecting, you can see shadows and stuff, but, like, it just seems like all of the polygons, like, decide to try and go into the camera as a single focal point, and it tries to turn into some weird, like, modern art or some shit, and I'm like,
There's
"This."
some mad
I just
trippy stuff going on.
Yeah, I'm just like, "I just wanna play my Fist in the North Star game,
Yeah.
man." Like
I don't even know what I'd play on Xbox 360, you know, because a lot of the stuff that I would like to play it's kind of weirdly been ported over in modern times.
Yeah,
Like Steam just has it there. It's like, oh yeah, you have this game. And I'm like, oh okay, cool. Like Forza 3 is on
yeah,
thing. You got like what was it? A lot of the Ultimate Ninja games have already been swerved over.
yeah,
Budokai HD collection. I've got the original Budokai games with the like the soundtrack, which
yeah,
is now copyrighted. You wouldn't get on HD. So I was like, well, I might as well just play the normal one, so I can get the actual nostalgia from the music and the OG theme tune, which is absolutely fire. So a lot of the 360 stuff, I think I don't really need really, and like Blaze Blue, for example, Blaze Blue. I've got those games on Switch, so I don't necessarily
yeah.
need to
Well,
like the older ones,
f
I guess, but
for that one, it was literally like, what
just Ken's Rage, is
what
it? Or
hasn't yeah, like, it's just Ken's Rage because I was like, that's before the PS4, Lost
yeah.
Paradise. That was the only other, Fist of the North Star game we got
Mm.
in the West. That I look, in before anyone says anything, I am cutting out one in more modern times because that doesn't count. That makes my soul die. And you shut up. You shut up. I know you just figured it out. You shut up, you bastard.
But why? It's
But
it's
shut
cheap and
up. You shut up.
available.
Come over there. I'm gonna fucking fight you,
it's
you
so cheap
bastard.
as well. It's
Shut
so
up. You
cheap. You
shut
can
up. I
easily
don't care.
afford
Shut
it.
up. You shut up. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. I'd far
But
sooner acknowledge pachinko machines than I will that.
was wasn't it on Wii U as well?
Ken's Rage.
Yeah, Ken's Rage 2, was it not?
I don't remember. I had it on
I
PS4.
swear,
No, sorry, not PS4. I had it on 360.
I swear Ken's Rage 2 was on Wii U.
Was it? I mean, if it was, then that'd be great because I'm like, I got one of those and I haven't tested that
I feel
either.
like it was one of those ones that like when the Wii U had its very limited like games every now and then. Yeah, it was worldwide release in February 2013.
Did we just never get that?
We got it.
Like I mean, like, I never saw it on a store shelf. You know what I mean? Like, I never saw it.
It says worldwide, so
Oh, it says
maybe hold
eShop.
on. Was it an eShop only one?
Maybe I don't know. I don't remember seeing a physical for that though.
Um, I mean, I have not seen it anywhere. Like, if I'm trying to buy it, like, it's saying, "Hey, did you want to buy Tekken Tag Tournament or Black Ops 2 on the Wii U?" It's not saying. Let me have a look on the
I'm on a
trusty old eBay.
I'm on Koei Tecmo Wiki.
No, maybe we didn't. Maybe it was just eShop only then, because we
Yeah,
definitely did get it in the.
I
Well,
was
it
gonna
says
say because
worldwide. But
I never ever saw a physical copy on the Wii U for it.
yeah. Would you have bought it on the Wii U if you did see it?
Oh God, no.
Like, but not now. Oh yeah, but did you even have a Wii U back then?
Yeah,
You
I had a
didn't,
Wii
did
U.
you? Wait, did you? Oh yeah, because we
Yeah,
played Smash Bros together. Of course we did. That's
yeah,
Smash Bros and Mario Kart. I forgot
Mario
about
Kart. Yeah,
that.
like I had a Wii U. It's just
I tell you
in
what, it's because
comparison
you
to the
let. Yeah,
360.
yeah.
Like I'm like the probably Wii U probably will crash.
I,
Like
I remember like because I got confused there because I remember you lent your Wii U to a friend of the show, Matt, didn't you?
yeah, and I still
And
I
I got it I got it the wrong way around. I thought Matt lent
the
the Wii U
funniest
to you
thing
for a second. Yeah,
funniest
you
thing
still
is
got it.
he still has it, and I've been meaning to take it back. Like all those times I visited him, like 2 years ago, every time I was meant to bring it back home with me, and I forgot every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's not like you're gonna play it though, you know what I mean? Like, what would you even play on it now though? Like,
I don't know. Funny enough, it wouldn't be for Wii U games. It'd be like, oh, there's that Wii game I really want to play. Have it run on native hardware that also has
yeah.
HDMI pass through.
Christ, yeah, that's the it's a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort to do
It is,
it.
but
Yeah. But what were we talking about? Oh yeah, Ken's Rage. Yeah, I've never attempted to like, well, get any Xbox 360 games on the Steam Deck. I remember trying to do PlayStation 3 and PS Vita, but there's a few more steps you have to go through, and you know when you just want to pick up and play
yeah,
something, and like was it the emulation software on the Steam Deck makes it so easy and simple to do that for most games. Doing that for the extra step, and arguably the when I have the one PS3 slash PS Vita game that I want to play the most, i.e. J Star's Victory Versus, when I actually still have my Vita as well, and it's there anyway. I'm like, I don't
of course
necessarily, yeah.
that's what you wanted to play.
It's jump games, of course. I'm gonna play more jump games. That's me. It's me, Nathan.
Yeah, I shouldn't be surprised. I literally should not be surprised. That's what you wanted to play. I was like sitting here thinking, like, what is it? What could he want to play? And I'm like, God, yeah, of course that
Yeah,
the what that
because all the other stuff, I guess, would be I think Pirate Warriors 2, I guess. But if you got Pirate Warriors 3, like
yeah.
on
See, and
Steam as well,
I have
yeah,
that
there's
on Steam. I did start replaying that, but I often forget to play games from my actual Steam library because the first thing when I turn on my Steam Deck that pops up is because I was already there. Is the
Yeah, yeah.
emulations, and then even then, I haven't been playing the emulators because of the thing that
Mm.
originally got us
There's
to this conversation. That's just been
yeah.
like front. I've just been obsessed as well, like front and center. That it doesn't leave the front page.
It's like it's one of those ones where like you said, I find myself playing emulators more than actual Steam games. Like even my Steam library, I think the stuff that I have on there is like Crazy Taxi, which I got for cheap. But I've got Simpsons Road Rage,
Yeah,
which and arguably like if I had the choice, I know Crazy Taxi is iconic, and there's obviously a new one coming as well, which would be really cool when it
yeah,
does. But but if I have the choice to play Simpsons Road Rage, where there's Simpsons references
yeah.
happening every like 2 seconds, I'm gonna play Simpsons Road
Well,
Rage.
also like before the Steam Deck, you didn't even really have a Steam library, so like for
No,
you,
I
it's
didn't
kind of
know.
like different, and it makes more sense
Yeah,
because like again, you weren't a PC gamer by
I
that,
mean,
until
no, I
then.
wasn't. No.
So you've been building your library since then, but I'm like I've had PC games since we were like 17, 18. So I've been building the library for too long.
My library is mad because it's like, oh, here's I've got like the back rooms. I've got Sega and All Stars Racing Transformed, which I started play. Oh, I wanted to play,
It's a good game.
but then uh for some reason, like Steam Deck wasn't registering my controls, and I was like, I don't know what
Oh,
the fuck's going on, so I just left it. So I only really got to the menu and couldn't do anything
oh,
else
that's so
after that.
lame because that's like the best one in the series. Like out of all of the Sega and All Stars Team Sonic Racing, like it's the best one, hands down.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I'll try and get on it. I got Stacklands on there. I
Oh
fucking
yeah,
love Stacklands. Stacklands is really fun. I bought like games that I felt like what was it fighting games which were quite cheap because Steam has those sales and stuff like that.
yeah,
So I got Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which
nice.
is my favorite one because that's the one that got me into the series, and then I started playing the other one. But that's that. Soul Calibur 6,
Okay.
which arguably isn't my favorite, but it was cheap, and I was like, "Oh, it'd be cool to play it handheld, like a high handheld like the that the Steam Deck is the main thing is play it handheld. That's your
Yeah.
main thing of it. So I've actually got One Piece Odyssey on there because that was cheap at one
Oh,
point.
okay.
And that runs fine. That runs perfectly fine. Crazy Taxi. I got Ghostwire Tokyo on there as well.
Oh, that's a good game. That's a fun game.
I've
I
I've still
like
I've
that
still
game.
got to play it. I'm looking forward to getting into that eventually, and I've got Like a Dragon on there as well. Again, these are all games that I just bought for cheap. That's the one
Oh
thing, right?
Lord,
So
baby.
yeah, so many Yakuza games I've purchased that just haven't played.
My God. By the time you finish the one Yakuza game, like I'm probably gonna end up finishing another entry in the series, man.
I know, yeah. There'll be like the pirate one, and then you'll
Well,
finish that, and
that's what I'm
then
saying. Like I finished every other entry whilst you're still working on 7, and I'm
it's
fucking
Nathan. It's fine. I've watched the series. I know what's going on.
you shut up. You shut up, you bastard.
But I wanted to touch on something which I have been obsessed about
Yeah.
for the past over 24 hours because you sent me the link to it,
Yeah.
and now Pokemon Infinite Fusion,
It's good, isn't it?
right? Oh, I am loving it. I am like, absolutely loving it. It's detrimental though, because another topic of discussion is that I think ages ago we were talking about me starting games and not finishing
Yep.
them. And I recently, I think last month before, I finished Final Fantasy Remake. I did that, and I did the DLC. I did the Yuffie stuff. I basically did it. And I was like, yes, cool, done that. I got Rebirth for Christmas, so I was and last week I've been heavily on that, and I've been like really like I've been doing all the side quests. I've just started it, so I'm only on chapter 3 or 4, but I've been doing all the side quests, going through, doing all that bit.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
now I was on such a good track, Nathan. I was on such a good track. I was doing so well, and now fucking Pokemon Infinite Fusion comes out. Like you showed me this thing, and now I'm just hooked on that now.
But it's so good.
It's really freaking good. I'm really enjoying it.
It's
It's
different, like, for me, it's almost brand new experience again because they've updated it so
yeah,
many times since the last time I've played it that I'm like, "What the hell is going
yeah,
on? Oh my
because like
god."
obviously it's like it's just a Pokemon game. It's obviously set in Gen 1,
Yep,
but then they've added like, oh look, here's this other NPC that you can talk to, and he does
yep,
this, and there's actual quests that they've
yep,
put in, which is like a little side quest book, which is quite cool because it makes it like a modern RPG.
yep,
And then like you got like over like 25,000 fusions or whatever it is.
yep, because basically
So
everything confused.
yeah, and it's nuts, and it's like you just bump into this random ugly looking creature, and you're like, oh,
Well, that's the funny thing is that some of them you're
yeah,
like, they've gotten, like, artists to do, like, an actual sprite, custom sprite, and you're like,
yeah,
"That looks
yeah.
pretty sick." And then there's other ones where it's just like, Ew, what the
And
hell?"
remember like back in the day, I think it probably was out like well before 10 years ago. There was this site called Pokemon Fuser.
Yeah.
And it was basically this concept, but all you could do is just mix Pokemon together.
Yep.
So you'd put Mr. Mime and Hitmonlee, and it would just put Mr. Mime's face on the Hitmonlee and change the
Yep.
color
Some
palette.
of them are
And they'd be
snap.
like, "Oh, look at that!" And it's the name, and it's like, "Oh," like, So that was that. But this game is basically that. But then obviously people have actually made proper sprites for it and stuff like that, which is really cool. Because like one of my favorite ones I've run into so far is I got a Wooper,
Uh-huh.
and I fused it with a Mankey.
Oh, okay.
Um, so it's called Wookie. So yeah, it's called Oh look, it's Wookie. But then they actually put a sprite in the game which is just a Wookie. So you got the fusion where it's like, oh, this derpy looking blue Mankey, and then you've got full on Star Wars character just stood there.
My favorite
I was
ones are,
tempted,
like,
but I was like,
when
nah,
the
I'll leave it.
names fuse and they're just something really, like, mundane or
Oh
silly,
yeah.
like, I had a Mankey Geodude, um, called
Right. Is
Mandude.
it called Man Dude? Man
It
Dude.
it was Mandude, but it was just it was half a Geodude, so a rock.
Yeah.
It still rocks with arms, and then it's just
Yeah.
got these, like, weird, like, like, bird-like, manky, like, rock feet.
Yeah.
It's got this really derpy face, but it's Mandude.
I think like that's incredible. I think the weirdest one I've seen, which just kind of just made me go ooh, was the I got a Hitmonlee
Mhm.
and fused it with Gyarados. So the name is just like I don't know Hitmondos or whatever the frick it was, right? But it's this long snake like creature, the Gyarados body with the Hitmonlee face. So Hitmonlee face is just eyes,
Yeah.
but then you have to remember that it's a snake-like body, but they've mixed it with Hitmonlee's color scheme, which is like
So it's
weirdly brown
browns.
flesh.
Yeah.
It's a brown snake thing, and it just looks weird. Like the color scheme of it just puts me. It's like a worm, and I'm like, I don't like that whatsoever. So I just put that in the box, and I'm forgetting about that right
See,
now.
I had my Hitmonlee fused with, Pidgeotto at the moment,
All right, yeah.
and the sprite looks not good anymore because when it was a Tyrogue and a Pidgeotto, it
Yeah.
looked really cool because it
Okay.
was, like, mostly
Yeah.
Tyrogue's body, and then it it almost looked like it was wearing, like, a
Yeah.
Pidgeotto as, like, a cool looking
Like a
cape.
hat kind of thing. Yeah.
'Cause
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
it, like, went over his head, it had the beak, and then the
Yeah.
wings out, but, like, it's still Tyro's body, right? So it just looked
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
cool, like, it was, like, wings out, and I was like, "Oh, man, that looks sick." And then it evolved, and it
Yeah.
just turned into a Hitmonlee with some wings on its back and Pidgeotto's
Oh, okay.
face just pasted over. And I'm now just like,
Yeah.
I don't like this as much.
Yeah.
It doesn't look so good. But that's one of the examples where that's the only sprite. There isn't another one. There's
Oh,
no
really?
other
So you just had
sprite
to
for it,
deal
so
with
I
that.
just have
Yeah.
to deal with this until I get to level like 36 or whatever it is to get a Pidgeot.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. And even then, you're not guaranteed that it's going to look any better.
Yeah, it might still just look like that, except it might
Yeah.
also then somehow weirdly have like Pidgeot's like feet sticking out of its body or something. I don't know how they're gonna fuse it. Like,
Yeah. I remember early on in the game, I caught a Pichu and I fused it with the Pidgey because I was like, oh, okay, look, electric flying type, that'd
yeah,
be like,
that'd be sick.
hopefully
Yeah.
cover a few things. But then it's like the Pidgey and the Pichu looked like kind of weird looking. Like, because it's like a weird, like
Yeah.
Pichu height. It's got the Pidgey face, and it looks like a bird that's about to attack you. It looked like an angry bird, basically, in the same sense of the fucking thing. But then Pichu evolved into Pikachu, and then it looks so much worse. It just ended up looking like because it's still the Pidgey,
Yeah.
so it's just a Pikachu with Pidgey's face, and I was like, "How did you make this look so quite good with the
Mhm.
Pichu, but failed so badly with the Pikachu?" So like, I just got rid of that.
See,
I found the what was it that bird from Gen 7, the
Oricorio, yeah, yeah.
Oricorio? Yeah, so I've used that with Pikachu now, and
Oh, see,
that's like Ghost
right
Electric type. So I'm like, yeah, sick.
for
But
right now, I have that fused with Kadabra.
mm.
That's pretty fun right now.
So that's like Ghost. Is it still Ghost type? Have you kept
Yeah,
it
Ghost
Ghost type
Psychic,
or yeah,
but
Ghost
it's
Psychic? That's a
like
cool one. Yeah.
4 times weak to dark.
Oh, right. So luckily, like you're at that point where, like, I guess the only dark Pokemon are kind of. I guess Bite is probably the worst thing. Like
Yeah,
Bite and Crunch and
luckily
those
there's
sort of
no like
moves. I guess.
actual like dark types, so it's not like they get the stab bonus, but you do still run into quite a few that just randomly
Yeah,
no bite, and then I'm like, no, no.
because well, yeah, that is brutal. I think like I'm trying to cover as many bases as possible with it.
Yeah,
Like, but I keep on falling back to the. I end up having a lot of water Pokemon in my team. Like, because I remember at those points, water Pokemon are actually my favorites. So
fair.
stuff like you got Poliwhirl in there
Oh,
and stuff
okay,
like
yeah,
that,
that
and
makes
yeah,
sense.
and then like so I got that, and then I had the because I was training up my Magikarp to evolve into
Yeah,
Gyarados, so I had that, and I had that with the what was it Formantis? I think it is.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, so I had that. So that was with my Magikarp. So that was my combination there. So that's another grass water, which because I
Oh,
fused
okay.
my Bulbasaur with the Poliwag. So that is like, and then evolved into Ivysaur. Well, no,
So
I had the Ivysaur first,
I
and then
put
my
my
Poliwag.
Magikarp with my Charmander. So right now I've got a Gyarados Charmeleon.
Ah, okay, that seems like that would be a cool combination when it
What
gets to it.
it's
Like,
mostly Gyarados with a flaming tail,
oh, so you've gone for the
and
water fire rather than fire
yeah,
water?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Only
yeah,
because it
yeah, yeah.
looks cooler that way.
Yeah. Ah, so you're going for the looks cooler route
So
rather than
yeah,
the
as long as I mean, either way, it would still be water, fire,
yeah.
fire, water, whatever you want as
Yeah,
the
yeah,
main,
yeah, it's still gotta be a thing, yeah.
the primary type or whatever. But I'm just like, look, sometimes in this game, you
Mhm.
can still get the type combos you want, but sometimes the sprites just look better with the other way.
I
It's just
do
how
know
it
what you
plays
mean,
out.
like, because it gives you 2
Yeah.
silhouettes, and you're like, "I've got a choice to make here. I could go for that one or that one," and sometimes, like, it depends on how many typings your Pokemon has originally, because
Yeah.
obviously Onyx is rock ground.
Yep.
So,
So sometimes you have to mix it a specific way to get the way you want it.
yeah. Exactly, yeah. So it's like, how do I wanna make this the best way? Um, but then like you have to kind of choose between typing and then how what it'll look like. So you see the silhouettes there, and you immediately think, I can tell that silhouette is gonna be better than that one.
Yep.
I just have a
But
feeling.
then that
Um,
silhouette that you prefer might not have the type, so you're like, ah, damn
no,
it.
that's what I'm like, yes. I'm there like, do I want that? Or do I want because then I'm like, because I got my Swirlix mixed with my Formantis now. So
Nice.
I got like a fairy grass, or I could choose great grass fairy. So I'm like, I'm gonna lead with the fairy because I'm like,
So I've got
I think
fairy poison because I've got Wigglytuff
that's a
and
cool one.
Nidoking.
Right. So I fused my Clefairy with the Nidorino.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm also like, there's two Pokemon that I don't really care for. And I'm also one of those players that I'm like, I want to go for Pokemon that I actually like
Mm.
over like some powerful ones. So even though the combination was quite good,
Mhm.
I'm also like, do I really want this on my team? I kind of want to go for that because eventually I want to get a Steelix as well, which is why the
Yeah.
Onyx is still in my party.
Yeah, that's why I also have an Onyx.
Yeah, because like I'm also quite annoyed that my Tyrogue evolved into a Hitmonlee because I wanted a Hitmontop because again,
I
Hitmontop favorite Pokemon.
I wanted a Hitmonchan because I want all the elemental punches. That's what I wanted. I was like, "Oh, he'd be a type coverage monster," but he became Hitmonlee.
Yeah, I was proper looking like to see if I could find any is it calcium, the one that gives boosted defense or whatever the defense one was.
Yes.
I was desperately trying to find is there a way that I can balance this out by adding like that kind of thing there.
Yeah.
And it just ended up being like nah. So I got the Hitmonlee and I was like fine, it's going in the box. Can't be asked. I got the Mankey, so I got the fighting coverage there with that. So
Yeah.
and that's that'll eventually evolve into Primate a bit further down the line.
I don't know if they've added Gen 9 stuff yet into the game because it'd be cool if you could get Annihilate.
I know, yeah, that's another one. I don't even know if there's Gen 8 stuff. That's another thing that I'm
Yeah,
trying to
well,
work
that's the
out.
thing. They're like updating it all the time. Like,
Yeah.
so who knows? I actually have no idea how far this goes.
Yeah. At least you know it's Gen 7 at least because the Formantis is a Gen 7, but also so is
Yeah.
the Aura. I keep on thinking my instinct is to say Orichalcos. Ah, yes, my Orichalcos bird. Ah, yes, the seal of the
Uh,
Orichalcos mixed with Pikachu.
oh Lord. Wait,
Yeah.
so how far are you?
I'm in Vermilion City, the one with Lieutenant Surge. It is. I always get
God
Viridian and
damn.
Vermilion mixed up.
I've
But
been
yeah,
slacking then. You caught up with me already. You've been playing for a day.
bro, I was playing a lot. I literally any chance that I have of free time, I'm literally like I want to jump on this. Like so, I think I managed to get it working on Friday night at like maybe midnight or something because like at one point I was like oh I need to get this configured, I need to work out what the because again the thing is with Steam Deck is when you download something you've got to use Proton to choose the right engine
Mhm.
kind of thing, and the engine that the video recommended to me was oh do this version of Proton, so I went for it and it's like this isn't working.
Oh, I just
So
installed the newest version of it or whatever. When it was like, okay, go into Proton and then get
yeah,
DE or whatever it was, and I was like,
yeah.
they said a specific version, and then when I clicked on it, I was like, I don't see that here, so I'm just gonna click this newest version and hope for the best.
See, that's what I did because I had GE8, and in that one, they're like, "Oh, choose GE9." I was like, "Well, GE8's got to be the same thing, right? It's GE," and that didn't work. And I was like, "Why isn't it working?" I'm trying to configure controls and doing what is it? What's wrong? Then I realized, wait, what if I just switch the Proton thing? So I did it like you said to the
Yeah,
latest thing, and it worked fine after that. So I was like, okay, fine.
it's funny
That's
because
nice.
like in those instances, I think that's where I've been doing stuff like this for so long that I'm kind of like, eh, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's like it's one of those where I'm like, I followed for various reasons and different, you know,
Hmm.
scenarios. I followed so many different tutorials for so many different things over the years that I'm
Yeah,
like, half the time, this thing that they're gonna tell you like, oh, do this doesn't exist anymore because like turns out the videos from like
2 years, like even
two
2 years ago,
a year,
sometimes
yeah,
like
2+ years ago, and you're like, well, I'm gonna have to figure out half of this now. Like,
yeah, because like, sometimes, like, the newest videos are the ones where you're like, "Oh, this should be up to date, right?" But then they just give you some stupid information, you're like,
yeah,
"Okay, fine, that doesn't work." But then I went onto a random one, and that was like, "Oh, try doing this," and I was like, "Oh, that's the thing." That was the thing that led me onto it. So, I was very looking at various tutorials to work out what the hell was going on with it. But, yeah, so I got that working Friday night, and then basically I had, like, a fair few hours yesterday morning to just play. And that is literally all I did. I just put some YouTube on the background, and I was like, "I'm just gonna play this game."
To be
It's
fair,
getting to the point
I'm
where
doing the same thing. I am if I got
yeah.
a free moment, I'm like, "Right, where's the Steam Deck? Give me a
Yeah,
fucking like,
yeah.
even though I'm
It's
sat here literally at my computer, like, probably got some YouTube on, got some streams going, like, watching people stream, and I'm still like, Infinite Fusion. I could be playing it
yeah,
on
it
my computer,
is.
but I'm like, "No, it's on my Steam Deck. That's where my save file
But
is."
it's easy to just this is the joy of handheld gaming, Nathan. You see what I mean, yeah? You can just chill, like, just play this
Well, I
thing,
mean,
everything's on in the
again,
background, and you're like, "Yeah."
I could just play it on my PC. I had it on my
Yeah,
PC,
but
but
it's
I'm
different.
like, that I as soon as I got it running on the Steam Deck, I actually
Yeah.
deleted it from my computer, like, every file, because I was like
Wow, okay, yeah.
because I was like, the one I had on my PC was, like, a finished save file from ages ago.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Like, yeah, like, again, like I said, there's so much new stuff now that I'm like, "There's no point playing this save file." So I just got rid of
Okay, yeah.
everything. I was like, "I'm gonna start fresh and only on there."
So, like, that's another thing I was gonna ask as well, because 'cause you've played this before, so you completed it before as well
Yes.
then.
Yep, yep, yep.
So, like, what like, how long ago was that you completed it? Like, half a year ago, maybe? A year ago?
About a year ago.
Yeah, and there's a lot more updated since then as well, which is
Yeah,
quite
like, when I
interesting,
played,
yeah.
you couldn't do outfits. Uh,
Oh, really?
you
Wow, okay,
never
so that's a
got
new
the
thing, yeah.
obviously Gen 7 stuff, so, like, Oricorio was never
Mm.
there. Like,
Ah, okay, yeah.
um, I think by the time played, like, most of the legendaries up until that point were in it, and you could get
Okay,
all
yeah.
the legendaries by that point. Um,
Okay, yeah.
but again, by the time I started playing, I think Gen 5 had been added.
Oh, so it's only Gen 5 at that point?
Yeah, so there's 2
Wow.
whole new generations and locations, and
Right,
there's a
okay.
lot of stuff in this now. That's why I'm like, I might as well just start from fresh, and it's a whole new
One
experience because there's so much extra stuff in it.
hmm. So, like, without any spoilers, I guess, like, in
Uh-huh.
terms of story, is there a lot of like, after you've done the league or whatever, I assume there's a league, like, uh, is there more story after that, or is it just, oh, you just go around catching Pokemon after that?
What when I played, and I believe it's still the same, is you have Kanto and Johto,
Okay, yeah,
and
sick, so
there
you can
was
go Johto
Sevi
as well, okay.
Islands.
Yeah.
But when I was playing, I think they were still fleshing out some of the Sevi Islands. I think some of the later islands
Okay, yeah.
weren't quite ready yet.
Okay, yeah.
Um, but in this, there's also even in like because I was like on the wiki having a look at some
Mhm.
stuff, doing some
Yeah.
research because trying to find like, oh, where's this Pokemon? Where's that Pokemon? Like Cerulean City has a whole new area I've never even heard of.
Oh, okay, yeah, so
I don't think I can access it yet because I don't have Surf. But like there's a whole nother area there that has some Pokemon that I'm like,
mhm.
What? That wasn't there before."
'Cause there's definitely some Necrozma stuff going on as well
Yeah.
because, like, I don't know if you like, in Mount Moon, for
Yep.
example, there's that random cave
Dark
there, and
Cave,
you can
yep.
get the yeah. I
I went
haven't
in
used Flash in it at all. I just went
Oh,
in and
yeah,
just
I
blindly
didn't
read.
use Flash. I ran in there because I was like, "I need it. I need 2 Moonstones," obviously, because
Yeah.
of my Wigglytuff and
Oh,
my
yeah, yeah.
Nidoking, and I was like, "Oh, apparently one of them's in there," so I just started running around in there
Oh,
trying to
okay,
find one.
yeah. Yeah, it was quite cool to just see that. I was like, "Okay, that's obviously something that's in there,
Yeah,
like, it's further." I think
that's
it's
new,
like
obviously.
it's those new bits to go when you go through Pokemon Fusions, like Infinite Fusion. It's like you see, oh, that's a new thing. Oh, that wasn't there in the original games.
Yeah.
That's what kind of makes you want to keep going and be like, oh, look, there's this. Like,
That's
it's
the coolest thing is that, like, because of it, the way they've done it,
mm,
like, there is so much, like, new stuff
yeah,
they've added, you're like that's why it's so fun to play because 'cause you're like, it's familiar
yeah,
enough that you're like, some of your knowledge might still
hmm
apply, but the
yeah,
vast majority, you won't know anymore.
yeah. I'm kind of like this is one thing as well. Like, obviously, you said like in a year or so they've added two new gens.
Yeah.
Like, I'm this is one thing that I'm kinda a little bit in the back of my mind concerned about as well, is that if I update this game or whatever, does it, like, does the save file carry in or something like that? Or,
Yeah,
like, what happens then? Like, so do I just update it and it's like, "Oh, okay, then it's just
yeah.
all this new
You
stuff,"
should
and,
should
like,
be
yeah,
able to carry on.
yeah,
Because when I
okay.
was playing my old save file, I would still check in every now and again, and the updated stuff would come in, and I could go and do it. But by that point, I was like, in that save file, I'd done almost everything,
Mhm.
and I was kind of like, do I want to go and do this? Like, like sometimes when you're like, I've got my final team, I just got to train them to
Yeah.
100, and I'm like, do I really care to go off and like catch that new legendary that was added? Not really.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, yeah,
So
I
I'm
get
just,
you.
so eventually I just dropped off. But right now I'm
I
like having
guess
a great time again.
that's a good thing though with it as well, because obviously you have multiple save files in this as well.
True,
So if you
true.
wanted to, you could just be like, and the good thing about Infinite Fusion as well is that you'll have a different kind of experience with your party every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's so many different fusions in there and different combinations. You could be like, well, I used this last time. I'm going to switch up my team a little bit. I'm going to fuse it with this instead, or I'm going to use because I didn't really catch any bug Pokemon in Viridian Forest. I just went and got
Oh,
like a
mate.
like
Where you said you've got loads of water Pokemon, all I seem to have are fucking bug Pokemon. And I'm like, I don't
yeah,
want to use them because they're not
yeah,
great.
yeah. It just that's one thing. Like, I think I wanted to go for cool combinations, so I had like my like what I didn't even have Bulbasaur mixed in with anything for a while. Like it's only up until Mount Moon that I started fusing it with things. Like that, like I think it was like
I
certain
can't
points where I was
remember
like, I
what
want to
I
keep it.
had. I had my Charmander mixed with something, but I don't remember
I
what it
think
is
at
by
that
this
point
point.
though, I think you might have needed to though, because obviously if you're facing Brock, who's got like rock
Well,
Pokemon and ground Pokemon, like
I
it's
wasn't worried about Brock because, I caught Fomantis in Viridian Forest or before
yeah,
that. So
yeah,
I was like, I got my grass type. That's fine. I
yeah.
had
That's what I
Mankey
get
at the
covered.
time as
Yeah,
well, and I was like,
mm.
meh, dude, I got my fight in my grass. I'm like,
That's of course.
what's gonna
Yeah,
cause me that?
you'd be so.
Like Charmander was just there as an extra backup. But that leads me to a question I didn't think about until now. How are you finding the shakeups with the gym battles where you can only pick a certain amount of entrants? How are you finding that?
So that was like I think I'm in two minds about it. It's a very good thing because it makes it more challenging for sure. Makes it really challenging. Like the Brock, I had no problem with because I had the Bulbasaur
Yeah.
and I had the Fomantis, so I blitzed through that no problem. Um, the Misty one, however, I did struggle with because even though I had my Pikachu doing
Yeah.
stuff, like I was so focused on, oh, I'll use the Ivysaur because it's water type and it'll be easy to be. That's how my logic has worked in previous Pokemon games.
Yep.
So I'm like, yeah, it's easy. And then you find out, oh no, they've mixed the Starmie with the Oddish or whatever it was. So
Yep.
it's like, okay, so it's not gonna work as well. So I was like, why isn't it working? I think I lost like 2 or 3 times to Misty because of those stupid things. And then I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna like use my Orichalcos Pikachu. I'm gonna call it Orichalcos because it's better. I think it's a better name. And I used that one, and then I had another Pokemon which I think it might have been the Mankey Pidgey that I had combined at the time. So
That
like a
makes
team that
sense.
didn't even include my
Flyings.
starter. Yeah, and fly. So it had I think it had Aerial Ace or Air Cutter. There was some air like flying type
Probably
moves. I was
air
like, this just
cutter.
makes
I
sense.
have a
Yeah.
I think it was the Oricorio that has air cutter as well. That's the
You
only
about to say it. It's like you're
you
about to say it. Did you
you
say
almost got me there. I was like, okay, you've said it enough times that it's almost planted in my brain now. You just
I think I might have had a Spearow which had it or something like that. Something had it, and
fair.
I combined it with Mankey, and I feel like I just went for flying moves at that point.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that got me
Bro,
through it.
see, that's the thing,
But it took
like,
me a time. Yeah,
it's interesting in it because like old Pokemon players like us, when you
yeah,
go into it, what looks like Gen 1, you're like, okay, I know this run,
easy.
I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
this. And then you go there and they're like, surprise, motherfucker. You're like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
that's not.
Like, but all my type advantages which I had planned for this gym are just gone.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because you go in and they're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, of course, I still got my whatever,
Yeah.
but now it's mixed with this other thing that neutralizes anything you thought was gonna work.
I'm fully expecting, like, I don't know how far are you into it?
I'm clearing out the SSN at the moment.
So we're actually at the exact same point right now.
God damn it.
Um, so I'm fully expecting Lieutenant Surge to have some kind of levitating electric type
Oh yeah,
that is like
it's
impervious to
either
ground, but I'm
levitating or like he's gonna
yeah,
have some electric ground or something.
yeah. I was like, because it was like one thing was like, yeah, easy, this is gonna be, and it's like, oh no, this Pokemon has levitate. I'm like, for fuck's sake, of
Do you know
course it
what?
does. So it can't use
It's
ground moves against it.
every time I run into someone who's got a coughing Grimer mix, I'm like, "You're
Yeah,
dead. You're dead." Because I got
yeah, that's,
Sandshrew with Magnitude. You're dead, and then it's like levitate. I'm
yeah.
like, fuck! You're not even off the
Yeah, that
ground,
was
you bastard.
I sent out my fucking my Wookiee at the time, and I was like, "There we go, mud bomb or like mud shot, easy, like total." And I'm like, "For fuck's sake!" It's everything that catches you off guard. It's so smart with that. That's the one thing. It's so smart, and I'm like, "Ah, okay, yeah, this is."
Oh man, I'm so glad you're having a fun time with this though, because like you never know with something like this. Like someone could go in and be like, "This is all garbage. I hate this. This is all
Yeah,
stupid." Like, but like I'm so glad you got in and it's like refreshing and fun for you because I'm like, that's exactly what this is. It's so good because it does make you think a little bit, you know? Like
yeah.
you got to
It's
retrain your
challenging.
brain a
It's
tiny bit because you're like,
exactly, yeah.
it's everything you know, but with a little bit extra.
I like that. I really like that because you saying that there's Johto stuff in it. I had a sneaking suspicion there would be Johto stuff because it's
Yeah.
been based off the Heart Gold Soul Silver kind of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
thing, isn't it? Like that kind of like sprite work and stuff. So like a part of me is really hoping that there's Gen 3 stuff in there. I don't think it will be because it like it's a different kind of thing. But
Again, it in the year that I hadn't played it, I have no
yeah.
idea. You might be able to go even further beyond now. Like they may have added the other regions for all I know. I have no bloody idea.
Yeah. Part of me wants to just like look into this, like just follow the like development of it as well, and be like,
Yeah.
when are they adding Gen A, or if they haven't already, I don't know. I
Like
haven't run into any,
it's
but I assume
funny
there isn't.
because you know how as Pokemon fans we've always been like, you know what? The ultimate game would be one where you could go to everywhere and run through all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
leagues and catch all the
yeah,
Pokemon and do all the things. I'm like,
yeah.
this might be the game.
It, it
Like,
could it could be it. Like it's mad because like this is doing. So I don't. This is also one thing as well because like freaking hell, how long is this gonna last until someone fucking takes like Nintendo's be like, hey, what's this going? What's this? What's this?
well, let's not.
Uh, yeah.
I don't want to think of that because like that would be a
But
sad day,
I'll have my file regardless. So whatever it may be,
right?
whenever they do, I've still got this moment in time where like they're shutting it down. Let me just download the latest update, and then I'll just have this forever on the Steam
Bruh.
Deck.
The thing is with Infinite
Yeah,
Fusion, it's getting me thinking. I'm like, oh, I'm having loads of fun with this. Don't get me wrong. I want to finish
yeah,
this, but there are a lot of other like stuff like that out there. Like someone was recommending to me, like, "Oh, you think you know Pokemon? Well, go and play Too Many Types." And I'm like, I did see a video about Too Many Types.
right. Oh right, okay. It's a very similar thing, is it, or is it? What was the crack
So,
with that?
Alpharad, the YouTuber, put together a
Yeah,
team, and they made their own fan game called Too Many Types, where they added more extra types than you could ever imagine to Pokemon. So
right. Okay,
it's
yeah.
again everything you think you know is now out the window because there are, as the name describes, too many types.
Right. Okay. Cool. I'll look into. I think I do want to focus on Infinite Fusion for the moment, but if I get to a point where I'm like I am kind of done with this or whatever, or like I'm like kind of capped out at what I want to do
Yeah,
anyway, I might. It was something I definitely probably will look into. Like if it
that
works
it
and that, if I can get
honestly.
on the Steam Deck, it all depends if I can get it run on the Steam Deck. That's the main thing. I'm as that's
Well, I
that's my
mean, now
main
that
thing
you've
now.
got
So
it, now that you got Proton working, I think it'd be fine. I think a lot of them might work.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, yeah, that's the craziest thing is that like we have only dipped our toes into the world of
Yeah.
like fan games. And I'm like,
Exactly.
there are quite a lot of good ones, and I've watched a fair few videos about various ones. There's another one I want to try where you are a gym leader.
I've heard about this one. That's one I've heard
Yeah.
about.
There's also
I've
another
seen,
one.
a friend play it, yeah.
There's another one where you're a Team Rocket member.
Yes,
I
I've
want to try that one.
Sam's told me that about that
There's
one, yeah.
there's I can't remember what it's called, but there was one where like each legendary had its own weird like cult following.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, again, I've watched lots of
That sounds quite
videos,
interesting, okay, yeah.
just because I watched one specific Pokemon YouTuber,
Yeah,
and
okay, yeah.
so sometimes he does playthroughs, and like so recently that's what he's been doing is like playthroughs of these kind of games,
Okay,
like these
yeah.
fan ones. So I'm like, there's a lot out there that I want to try.
Okay. I'll look into them for sure. That's another thing I was like, but yeah, right now, Infinite Fusion has my focus, and
Oh
that
yeah, for
I'm
sure.
really enjoying that right now. But
I
yeah,
don't want to check out anything until I feel like I'm done with Infinite Fusions though.
yeah. They're so dangerous though, because this is like just introducing free games, if anything, and it's like in a time where I'm like, oh, cool, I'm in Final Fantasy right now, and then like I've got like few other PS5 games that haven't even
Yeah,
started yet,
I was
and
gonna
like,
say.
oh, here's the free stuff, but and I'm like. Okay, yeah, there we go. But it's fun. I'm really enjoying it, and well, we'll see where the year takes us, I guess. Um, but I guess I coming close to the hour. Is there anything you want to bring up, Nathan, before we wrap this up? I guess, like,
Nah, not really. I feel like I'm just gonna go back to
yeah,
Infinite Fusions. So
I'm so ready to go back to Infinite Fusion. It's like it's when you got. I've got plans this evening. I'm gonna go see the new Robbie Williams film because everyone's saying it's really good. So I'm like,
oh,
okay, I
okay.
booked a ticket. I booked a ticket a couple days ago,
Uh-huh.
and I was thinking, yeah, cool, I'll go see that tonight. I've got like fucking unlimited things. So I'll go see it. Everyone's going crazy about it, and now I'm just like, you know what? Like, I just want to play Infinite Fusions. Damn it, I've got
Yeah.
plans now.
Could bug it off and go and play Infinite Fusions though.
Yeah, I'm so like part of me is like saying, "Oh, I really want to just sack it off and play Infinite Fusions." I'll bring the Steam Deck into the cinema.
The funny thing would be when
Sit in the back row.
they kick you out because they're like you're disturbing other people because of the light of your Steam Deck, and you're like, but Pokemon the
I
Fusion,
need to play Pokemon.
LT
It's like
Surge.
I go back to like the fucking antisocial 10-year-old that I was, like, like bring my parents like, oh, let's go out to dinner. Meanwhile, I'm on my fucking Game Boy Advance playing fucking Pokemon Sapphire. I'm back to that moment. Yeah, social interaction's called everything but Pokemon. Or is that Pro CD
I
skit?
was
Where
just
it's like,
about to say
I could be playing Pokemon right now. I could be playing Pokemon right
that is you
now.
right now.
It's
That is
gonna
you.
be me. The most annoying thing is as well is that like after today, like me and Nathan take charge of edits of episodes every week or whatever. So
Yeah,
this
it is your
edit
turn.
is coming up in this week, and it's my turn. Oh, for God's sake! I got to edit this video, but I could be playing Pokemon right
Think,
now.
look, take this as some solace. Be lucky I'm not the type of friend that every time something happens, I take a picture and I send it to you and I go, oh, look at this
Yeah,
thing. Because you know for a fact
yeah.
I'd be sending you like, yo, look at this fusion. I go, I don't do
It's
that. I never do that.
I do. Luckily, I do this with like my mates who aren't playing this game. So I'm looking at this fucking weird thing. But yeah, we could easily be doing that. You're so right. But yeah, that's fine. Well, when this is out next week, you will see this edit. If I'm not like just completely besmirched with fucking playing Pokemon Fusion.
Well, I
Imagine
mean,
sacking off the Pokemon Fusions edit to play Pokemon Fusions.
I would be so mad.
I know you would. I know. Don't worry, I won't let it happen. It's going out. It's here. You're probably watching it right now, but yeah, there we go. But on that note, we'll wrap this episode up here. Let us know your experiences with like emulation, Steam Decks, Pokemon Fusions. Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you guys. But yes, thank you for listening. Remember to catch us on podcast platforms and link in the description. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell button for future Cultured Boys videos. And we'll see you next time for another Culture Boys video. Bye bye, guys.
Bye.